Hare Krishna, Namaste. The question is God really treats everyone equally? I see so many differences, but I heard in one of the lecture that Krishna says he is equal to everyone. If he is equal to everyone, why not everyone be happy? Why some of them are suffering, some of them are not? Some of them live longer, some of them have short life. With all these differences in the world, how can Krishna say he is equal to all? It doesn't show partiality. Now let's see the answer. The sloka that has been mentioned here is from chapter 9, verse number 29. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyo asti na priyaha. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. If we don't understand the real meaning of this sloka that Krishna is trying to say here, we will have hundreds and thousands of questions in our mind. We may be disturbed when situations happen in our life. We may not be in peace. We may start thinking, I must have done something wrong to the Lord, therefore he is not happy and therefore he is punishing me, whereas others are taken care very nicely. Or we may think, for some reason God is treating me differently compared to others. Maybe he has some favoritism. He likes some people and he doesn't like some people, like myself. When such kinds of thoughts comes in our mind, it is obvious we will not be in peace, and that may lead to even hating the Lord. So first of all, we must know all that's happening in our life is simply due to our previous karma. We are just paying back for the deeds that we are doing, whether it's a good deed or whether it's a bad deed. That is what is going on in everyone's life currently. So whatever sufferings and happiness is simply due to our past karma. Some of the situation that happens in our life can be possibly dealt, but there are some events that happens in our life, we have no control over it. We must accept that. Some events we can tolerate, some event we cannot. And we can't change that either. We don't have enough strength, we don't have that skill to many things in our life. So when we understand that I am in a place where I have no control of things that's happening in my life, then we need to approach someone who can possibly help us. Someone who can help us to cross over our difficult time. And that person must be himself free of problems. If he himself is in problem, how is he going to save us? And we all know that one person who is free of all problems, who has all the power to save us, is God, Krishna. We must accept this truth and approach him. But our mind may block us, saying that, isn't it he the cause of my suffering? Didn't he push me into this problem? Then why am I going to the same person who created problem for me? This is how our mind may trick us. If it is not our mind, then there could be some so-called good relatives and friends may say, why are you still wasting your time in doing prayers and pujas, going to the temple? What God has done to you? All he has given you in abundance is only suffering. Look at your cousin, how he or she is living very happily. Look at your neighbor. He doesn't go to temple, he doesn't do any pujas, but he and his family are always in bliss, enjoying the life. When we hear such things, we may get carried away, and then we may decide, it is very true. I've wasted my life in puja, temple, prayers, seva, etc. Or another point is, even if we decided to pray to God, there are chances our prayers may get answered in a delayed manner. We may not get our prayers answered immediately. It may take some time. In some cases, it may appear as if our prayers were not being answered. All these things may lead one to start thinking, does really God exist? Is He really hearing to my prayers? Or is everything is simply happening because of my karma and He doesn't have control over it? If that is the case, why even I have to do any prayers, any bhakti, if everything is happening by itself due to my karma? Then why Krishna says He is equal to everyone in Bhagavad Gita? He doesn't have partiality among anyone. Let's understand that when Krishna says He doesn't show partiality to anyone, when someone approaches Him, whether that person is a rich man or a poor man, whether that person is a woman or a man, whether that is an human or an animal, whether that person is educated or uneducated, whether the person is good looking or ugly, He sees no differences among anyone who surrenders unto Him. That may raise a question, that means God likes everyone? Does He even like Kamsa, Duryodhana, Hiranyakashipu, Shishupal and so forth? No, He disliked them. But His dislike is not based on their jati, their appearance, their knowledge, but it is totally based on one's behavior towards Him and His devotees. So, God's liking and disliking is not based on any of the other material factors, but it's totally based on whether that person behaves well with Him and His devotees. Now, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu means He is in everyone and everything. He is within me and He is within everyone, even with those who doesn't pray to Him. That means He is present in Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu. Whether a person is an evil person or a good person, He doesn't differentiate. He is present in each one of us. Not only us, even in the non-living entities. He doesn't differentiate. This is gold and this is iron. He is present both in gold and in iron. He is present everywhere equally. Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. He is the one who carries everything. The entire creation is resting upon Him. There is not a piece of land that doesn't exist without His support. Everything is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna. It is not that God carries India and America is carried by someone else, Antarctica by someone else, China by someone else. It is the same Supreme Lord who is the barrier of the entire creation, entire planetary system. He doesn't say, I will only carry India but not Australia. So, it is He who equally carries everything. In that way, He is Samoham. Another point is, He is the one who controls and rules over everything. Meaning, our life is controlled by the Lord through our individual karmas. He makes sure our karmas are taken care. In this way also, He doesn't differentiate. If someone has done good karmas in the previous life, they must enjoy this life. If someone has done bad karmas in the previous life, they suffer this life. In this way, He is equal to everyone to make sure their karmas are effective in the way it must be. And again, this principle is global. He applies this to anyone and everyone. Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. So it is very clear that He is equal in controlling and ruling every one of us. based on our individual karmas. So the point that we need to understand is God is equal. He doesn't envy any one of us. He is not partial to anyone. But one who understand these things and surrender unto Him, He favors them. Only people who understand that they cannot save by themselves, none of them can save them. They have no other means to save themselves. There is no other supreme power than Krishna who can save them, will surrender unto Him. When one surrenders unto the Lord in this mood, the Lord takes care of them. This is the key point. One may even agree to whatever we said earlier, that He is present in everyone. He is the carrier of everyone. He is the controller of everyone. I understand all this thing. Even after understanding all this thing, I still suffer. Understanding is just one aspect of the whole program. If we just understand but do not take any action, the Lord still remains neutral and let our karma take place. The second part of understanding the fact how He is equal is to surrender unto Him. So the Lord eagerly waits for us to take that step towards Him. And when one takes that step towards the Lord, accepting His lotus feet are the only means to save them, save us, then He guarantees and He takes care of that person. This is what we need to understand when Krishna says, I am equal to everyone. When things are happening in our life which are out of our control, we must know those are the best opportunities for us to take complete shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord and accept His program in our life, rather than we asking Him to change the program in our life. When we were children, we did not understand what our parents were doing to us. In fact, we were thinking, they are not letting me to play enough. They are not letting me to enjoy my life. They are controlling me. They are putting restrictions. All those things are very painful in that age. But when we have children, we understand what our parents did for us is actually for our own benefit. Similarly, I am surrendered to Lord means I let the Lord to control my life the way that He wants, and truly understand it is for our benefit only. When we are convinced with this, then we will find peace in us in all circumstances. To conclude, God is certainly equal to everyone. He is present in everyone's heart. He carries everyone. He is a controller. He is a ruler. In that way, He is equal to all. Also, He is equal to all in a sense, whoever comes and surrender unto Him, He does not see any differences. He accepts anyone and everyone irrespective of any differences that they may carry. Vibhishana surrendered, and Lord Rama was even ready to accept Ravana if he surrendered. In this way, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu, the Lord is equal to everyone. Thank you. Hare Krishna.